Good morning, everyone. This is Johnny Girardi, founder and CEO of DataSelf. Happy Thursday. If you are in one of those parts of the country which is really cold today, I'm sorry to let you know that here in Northern California, we are going to be in the high 60s. It's like summer. Anyhow, thank you very much for joining us. Just before I jump into the presentation, let me give a brief history of why I founded this company back in 2005 and what we're doing here. So I'm an electrical engineer as background, and in my early career, I spent several years doing coding, programming. So I have a very strong programming background. Eventually, I fell in love with the business side, and I did my MBA, and I went into the business area. But I've always been, in touch with, business and technical sides. So in the early 2000s, I was invited to join the business intelligence industry. And at that point, I was very intrigued by, I'm a fairly technical person, programmer. So to me, reporting, data analysis was something easy. I was familiar with, tables, programming, reporting tools. So I had not much of a difficulty in that sense. However, quickly I realized that the issue is most of the people who are decision makers, they are not necessarily good at programming. I mean, usually, they're good at doing something else, like, building businesses, managing people, building products, companies, and so forth. And they use the computer just as an aid, something for, something more simple, I don't know, emails, browsers, Excels, and so forth. And these are the people who need data analysis, who need reporting. So often, they have to ask someone else when they want something different, some new reporting, some new data analysis. And something else is usually, away. It's going to take sometimes, hours, days, or even weeks to get a reporting together. So quickly I realized that, hey, there's a big need, to combine technology and make it easier for decision makers. And I thought that, hey, I think I can touch this industry and I can make it better. So back in 2005, I founded this business called DataSelf, and the main vision is to bring the high-end business intelligence and analytics solutions for a price in a framework that fits mid-sized companies' budgets and needs. So our goal is make the easiest, the best solution out there, but make it better, make it simpler for mid-sized companies. So that was how I founded the company back in 2005. We've been working with the same team here, the core team of DataSelf, for actually about 13 years total. And what I'm going to show here today is pretty much the latest and greatest technology when it comes to analytics covering the Microsoft Dynamics Navision market. We cover several other products, Navision, GP, and so forth. But today we're going to be focusing on Navision. So let's get started. Let me get my computer here. Okay, so we're going to spend about 15 minutes talking about analytics overall, the concepts behind analytics. Then we're going to spend about 20 minutes or so covering how we do it. And then we're going to open a Q&A session at the end of it. So usually when companies come to us looking for analytics out of Dynamics Navision, these are the most popular needs that they're looking for. They want to do better sales analysis out of Navision. They may want to have a better analysis out of their supply chain systems. And also sometimes if they're manufacturers, they want to do a better understanding of their manufacturing processes. So just let's take a quicker look at how we can add value to those different pieces of analysis. The sales is the most popular module that people come to us to get improvement. One of the most basic needs is companies just want to have a better understanding of their sales processes and the profitability. They want to have a better understanding of sales by anything, by salesperson, by product family, territory, account managers, ship to location, any kind of sales profitability analysis. Analytics can really add a lot of value, and it's very, very common when people come to us looking for those perspectives. Some companies, they have a little bit more elaborate ordering and invoicing processes. Sometimes it takes a while between the order and the process and the invoicing per se and shipping, all of those things. So having a better understanding of these processes and how you can manage more efficiently is also a topic that analytics can help you understand what's going on and focus where it matters the most. Some companies, they have simple, sales commission. So Navision does a pretty good job, but sometimes just an Excel file can cut it. Sometimes the commission structure is a little bit more complicated. It may be more time-consuming to put it together. Sometimes it takes hours and hours of people at the end of the month to crunch the numbers. Analytics is a tool that can usually expedite the process significantly, can sometimes completely automate it, and even give like up-to-the-minute commission and quota status. So throughout the month, anytime you pop and you look at analytics, you can see where salespeople are they doing, are they falling behind, and so forth. So sales commission is also a very important issue for analytics. Forecasting, big topic. Everyone's trying to use their crystal ball to check, what the upcoming sales are going to be, so you can better forecast your resources to tackle it. Analytics also can be very helpful forecasting sales, actually forecasting anything, sales, GL expenses, inventory, and so forth. Pricing strategy, if you are dealing large contracts, let's say, if you're selling services or if you're selling products to, let's say, I don't know, big boxes, retailers, and you go into this multi-year contract, and you have to be sure you have the right pricing strategy. So you're going to be selling a lot, but you're going to be making good money in the process. So understanding the cost components and volumes and so forth, and being able to analyze those metrics and come up with the right pricing strategy is critical, and analytics can also be helpful in that front. Finally, some of the most popular requests as well is people have data information, sales data information coming from different places, not only from Navision. Sometimes, sales is coming from a point of sale system. Sometimes it's coming from, the clients per se. Like, if you have big boxes, they can give you some sales information beforehand. And then you have to combine this data along with your Navision data to have a better understanding of your whole sales process. So the ability to easily integrate data for data analysis is critical, and analytics can definitely play a big role into helping with that. Let's talk a little bit about supply chain and kind of how analytics helps. Inventory management, just inventory transfer between your warehouses, or where you put your goods in your own warehouse, and how you can more efficiently manage your own hand inbound and outbound items. If you have bringing products or from overseas, let's say, or if you are routing your products to your clients through your own trucks, and you want to have a better understanding and in optimizing the logistics, analytics can also help you with that. Supply chain collaboration, if you need to exchange information with your vendors and your clients, so you can have a better understanding of what's coming in, what's going out. So bringing data from vendors can be critical, and analytics can be helpful. Just your purchasing processes, depending how simple or how complex it is, analytics can give you into insights, and you can focus, in fine-tuning some processes that maybe today you're just not aware that they are not so efficient. Forecasting, the same way that we can forecast sales, you can forecast your, anything in the supply chain, where the products are in the supply chain, or maybe the quantity on hand you have today, in the next coming days, weeks, or months. So forecasting is a big deal, and analytics can help. And also data integration. The same way as I mentioned about sales, if you have information that you need to exchange with your vendors, with your shipping companies, maybe with your customers, you can combine all of this data into a unified analytics platform, then being able to analyze all of this data from a single location. So these are some of the most popular reasons people come to us for analytics. I kind of covered some topics for more than the distribution, manufacturing businesses. However, we have clients all over the place, service companies, medical devices, pretty much, financial companies all over the place. So if you are outside of these, topics that I covered, and you want to learn more specifically how we can address your own needs, give us a call, shoot us an email. We'll be glad to hear where you are, what your needs are, and go from there. So why DataSelf Analytics? Well, in a single sentence, what we do is, it goes back to my vision when I founded the company, is we're looking for the best of the breed, most intuitive and easy to use technology out there for analytics. And usually those things are expensive and complicated. So what we do is we simplify it, we make it easy to install, easy to learn, easy to use, and we amplify it. It's not only a easy to use technology, but we add several components to it that will make it better. Out of the box, you get a lot of value. So we'll talk about it in a minute. And in a nutshell, at the bottom of this page, you can see 3 different products, DataSelf ETL, SQL Server, and Tableau. That's the platform that we use. We have our own technology, but we leverage, SQL Server and Tableau, which are best of the breed BI and analytics platforms out there, and make it simpler, make it better. So when we put together our solution, the most important component is, back again to my vision, business people, the people who need to make decisions, they're usually not necessarily computer savvy. They're not programmers, These are the people who need information, that need to slice and dice things anytime, anywhere. They may be in a meeting, they may be on a phone call, they may be visiting the client on a coffee shop, and they need information. So being easy for these people to access data anywhere, anytime, and being easy to modify it as needed is the most important component of our technology. And when I show the product, you're going to see how impressive and how easy it is, this technology, to be used by non-IT people on the client side. Also, usually these very sophisticated, very easy to use products, they have a back-end system that should be maintained by IT. We also take care of IT. We also make a technology that is easy for IT, being yours IT, an external company, or ourselves, to maintain it. So when business people are trying to do something that they don't know how, they're not ready, to take that step, the IT can come in and quickly tackle and make it fast for decision makers to continue to do their own ad hoc analysis. So easy is the most important component of our technology. We're always looking for ways to make it easier to access anytime, anywhere, and easy to change it. The other very important component, as I mentioned, that we augment or we amplify the value of analytics is the core team of DataSelf has been working with the BI and analytics for about 14 years now. And over these years, we have built a very comprehensive out-of-the-box solution that today, if you get all the components, let's say for Navision in a CRM package, there are more than 2,000 reports, dashboards, and key performance indicators right off the bat. So not only is it easy to use, but it comes with a very great starting point. And about half of our clients, they start using the out-of-the-box, and that's all that they need. So that's pretty much the PowerPoint presentation. We're right on track on time. Because our technology uses this best-of-the-breed technology, all the components are really high-end. It's really fast and really, sophisticated yet easy to use. We compare it like a Ferrari. Using DataSelf Analytics, it's just like driving a Ferrari. It's fast, it's impressive, it's really flashy. So let's take this baby for a test drive. We're going to cover 3 different topics in our presentation here. First of all, I'm going to be talking about secured access, how people access it, securely access it. Then I'm going to show some of the out-of-the-box dashboards and key performance indicators out of the 2,000 we have out of the box. And then I'm going to show some ad hoc analysis. So let's take this baby for a spin. So first of all, most of the users, there are different type of users that can have DataSelf Analytics, like the power user, the admin user, the consumers, most of the people will be accessing DataSelf Analytics through a web portal using a web browser or a mobile device, such as, let's say, an iPad, an Android tablet, or a smartphone. So there are different ways to consume information. So when people go to their portal, again, using a web or mobile device, the first thing is all of this information is, stored behind secured frameworks, behind a firewall on a very secured cloud-based system. So it's very secure information. Only people with the right web address and the credentials can log into it. Now, when a person logs into this web portal, then the second layer of security kicks in, meaning if I'm, let's say, a salesperson, I would only be able to see the sales team dashboards. If I'm a finance person from the finance department, I would only be able to see the finance department dashboards. If I'm an executive, I would log into the executive dashboard framework, for instance. So the second level of security is giving me only the dashboards that I have access to. Now, let me just browse through some of the dashboards that I have here. And these are the sample ones. They're mostly sales focused. So if I logged in here, this would be my, let's say, sales team dashboards. Now, when I open one of these dashboards, I'm going to click one of them here, the top customer by sales. Then the third layer of security can kick in. So let's say this dashboard can be the same for all salespeople. However, if the security is properly set up, let's say, suppose I'm the California account manager. When I open this dashboard, I would only see the top customers by sales this year in California, while, let's say, Mary, which is the account manager for Florida, she opens the same dashboard like I did, and she only sees Florida top customers. While, let's say, John, which is the VP of sales, opens the same dashboard, but then he sees the top customers across all accounts. So security can be granular in that way that, a single dashboard or report will automatically render information based on your own user credential rights. So that's kind of very cool and helpful. Now that I covered a little bit of, about how people access the information, let's take a look at some of the out-of-the-box dashboards. And this is just one of them we have, showing top performers. In this case, top customers by sales this year to date. So we have bars which relate to sales, bigger bar, bigger sales, pretty kind of obvious. Then each bar has a color schema which is represented by the gross profit here at the bottom. So I can tell this customer is really profitable. This one is really unprofitable. Maybe a red flag. Maybe we got to check why this customer is so unprofitable. And we also have these black dots which are represented by the percentage gross profit. So I have gross profit on a color schema on the bars, as well as the dots representing, the actual numbers here. So kind of, interesting perspective. We have lots of top performer reports and dashboards on the sales, on the purchasing, on the GL, payables, receivables, and so forth. Let's see some other more intriguing key performance indicators. Let me go back to the list here and open this. Usually looking at the top growth and decline of different metrics in your business is important because those things are growing and declining the most. Let me give an example to see how important that may be. This report shows top customers by sales change since last year to date. This can be quarter to date, month to date, week, moving period, whatever it is. Anyway, on the y-axis, I have top change, in this case, top sales change. So bigger positive means big growth, big negative means big decline. Looking at this particular report, if I have recurring customers, suppose I'm a distributor, manufacturer, whatever, that I'm selling to recurring customers, and I look at this top customer by sales growth, most likely they're being taken care of. They're buying a lot. Most likely salespeople are working closely with these customers. Most likely they're happy. So in this particular, dashboard, maybe the top growth is not so critical because I'm sure they're being taken care of. Now, what about the top customers by sales decline since last year? What happens is, usually salespeople are busy. They call, they leave messages. If people don't call back, it may take another month, maybe a few months for me to get back to that opportunity. And maybe there's something wrong with this opportunity. Maybe they're not happy. The competitor's knocking the door. So maybe there's some big issues here that if I can work in a timely fashion, I can reverse the trend. But in order to do that, I need to know what's going on. So reports like this can bring to your attention, again, what's growing the most or declining the most in any given time. And sometimes out of those top growth and decline, something critical is going on and you need to act quickly. So in this case, top decline, why are these clients declining? Can you do something about it? So kind of interesting perspective. And we have many of these top decline analysis all over the board. Another interesting kind of analysis is what is called exception reporting. And exception reporting is analyzing things that are no longer happening. This is an example from sales. So again, I'm looking at regular customers that are not buying in the last 30 days. Maybe it's okay, maybe it's not okay. In this case, I'm looking sales that had sales in the last 60 days, but not in the last 30 days. Maybe it could be in the last sales in the last 90 days, but not in the last 60 days, whatever. It's very easy to change these buckets. But the point is why they stop buying. Or maybe if you're looking in an inventory standpoint, looking at items that have been seen on the shelves for more than 60 days, why those are not moving. And maybe you have to make a promotion to get them out of the stock. Anyway, exception reporting shows trends that are no longer happening, and sometimes they can be informative for a business to do something about them. And we have, again, many of those exception reportings in different places. Anyway, so we have lots of dashboards in different areas. Here in my sample, I have a CRM information, cost of goods sold. I have inventory information, pricing strategy, purchasing, and you name it. Now, one of the most important things is the ability to change things easily. And again, it goes back to the vision that, business people, they're usually not that computer savvy necessarily. They don't know programming, but they need information. And sometimes they need something different than what is available pre-configured, and they have no time to call someone else to ask for a new report. So the ability to change dashboards and reports on the fly is critical. And this framework is really one of the best available out there. And that's what I want to show right now, how easy it is to change things. So let me open this sales by geography. Suppose I'm the VP of sales and I'm meeting with the West team, and I want to discuss opportunities. So I'm going to click on the sales by geography dashboard. By the way, to build a dashboard like this from scratch, it does not take an IT person, no, a business person, and we actually have many VP of sales, salespeople, even the company owner building dashboards like this by themselves, and they're not IT savvy, they are business people. So they can do it, and to build from scratch a dashboard like this, it can literally take minutes. If you just know what you want, it can build from scratch in minutes. And if you want to see that, call us. We can show on a one-on-one basis how quickly we can do that. Anyway, back to my example here. So I open this dashboard. I'm with my West Coast team. And here I have a very nice dashboard that shows sales by state. Every state has a bubble, bigger sales. And then the bubbles, they have these slices which are representing the aggregation of the invoice size. So I can see, in California, I have a lot of large businesses, which maybe is what I want. I can also easily change the data here using the slider. So I can slide here and see how things are growing over the years. So kind of very informative here. I also have on the left here salespeople sales in my bars, profitability in my colors, and what the top products by quantity shipped were for my whole, territory. Now, I just want to focus on the West Coast team, and I could be looking at this dashboard on my iPad, for instance. Using my fingers, I could come here and select only those West Coast states. And when I select them, automatically my dashboard will filter the information to only show salespeople, sales and gross profit, and what's being sold to those 3 states. So everything now is focused on the West Coast side. Very easily, very, very easily. Okay, if I'm concerned about profitability, I can see that Sam, my top salespeople, is fairly unprofitable. So if I click on Sam now, what I'm doing is I'm only showing Sam's sales in those 3 states in the products he has been shipped. If I want to choose more of the unprofitable salespeople, I can use the control in my keyboard and select more people. And as I select more, automatically I change the sizes of my bubbles and I change the products being shipped. So very easily, with very little training, actually many business people, they learn how to make these simple changes on dashboards. We call the filtering changes with no training. They just come here, they poke around, click, right click, use their fingers, and they figure it out. So very, very easy. Anywhere, anytime, they can have access to information like this. Now, some business people, they may be more sophisticated and they want to have more ad hoc capabilities. Maybe they want to extensively change this dashboard on the fly in front of the client, maybe in a bar talking with a prospect or just bragging about their sales, whatever. So we can also give these people the following level of modification or ad hoc capabilities, and is the edit button. Usually the edit button is the edit button is only for the more intrigued and adventurous business people, but we have many doing it. Again, high-level business people. So let me show how that works. I'm going to click the edit button. I'm going to click the edit button. Now I have all of the different components of my dashboard. So I had 3 different sections. I have the sales by region, I have the top 5 products, and the sales and gross profit by account manager. So I have each one of those segments of the dashboard. Now, if I am, suppose, I want to analyze my salespeople sales and gross profit in a more granular level and slice and dice it, how can I do it? So first of all, here I have full capabilities. I can completely change this dashboard. If I click the Show Me button, it gives me some ways that I can plot that information. And if I would like to see numbers by the penny, I can click on this option. So right now, that dashboard or that chart became a list of salespeople with sales by the penny and gross profit percentages. Okay, suppose that's what I want to see. But I want to see this broken down by product line, for instance, or product family, whatever that you want to see. Well, here on the left side, we have what is called as the data panel. And right now I'm connected to the sales module because it's a sales dashboard for the sales team. And here I have, dimensions like, products, salespeople, customers, so forth. When I open one of these dimensions, I see subcomponents of that dimension. So customer information, account manager, customer name, ID. And this is like a small list because it's a demo version. The actual solution for Navision is much larger list of subcomponents, but they are easy to understand. A business person just come here and pick and choose what they want. So if I go to the product list, for instance, and I want to see, let's say, a product line here, I just drag and drop product line, let's say, to my rows. And voila, by salesperson, by product line, sales and gross profit. Very drag and drop, very easy, very intuitive. It doesn't take much for a business person that is curious enough to do this. Maybe you want to break this down by customer. You go to the customer, let's say customer name, and you drag and drop to the report, and that's it. So by salesperson, by product line, by customer. Maybe you want to reverse the order, It's very, intuitive. Drag and drop things. I'm going to put product line at the end of the sequence. So by salesperson, by customer, by product line, sales and gross profit. Maybe you want to put, time component to the report. You can drag and drop, let's say, document date to my columns, for instance. And right now I have sales 3 years, gross profit 3 years. Again, drag and drop and you get the result. This is really designed for business people. On average, more than 70% of the custom reporting needs of business people, they can tackle them by themselves. No need for IT. That's our track record. The vision is to give a tool that business people can do the job by themselves. You cannot get rid of the IT. We still have to maintain the back end. And, on average, 30% still need some back-end customizations, augmenting this list of, reporting parameters, building new rules, and so forth. The beauty is, once IT has done the maintenance of the back end, now most of the client-side customization can be tackled by the business team, which is pretty cool. All right. Finally, at any point in this product, if you want to go into more detailed information, granular, you can, for instance, click, okay, let's see about this amount here. I want to actually see the details behind it. I can click this view data option, and this can be done also on, let's say, on the on the tablet, on an iPhone. So these were all the transactions that were actually made up that particular sales amount. I can even download this information if I'm using, let's say, a desktop or something. And now I have that information in an Excel file, and I could, use Excel as a way to further manipulate it. So easy access, easy ad hoc, easy download, easy get into Excel, for instance. Alrighty, so I hope you have enjoyed your Ferrari spin. Let's go back to the PowerPoint and wrap up the presentation. So what about return on investment? So one of the interesting things is, once you give business people the ability to make more informed decisions, because now they can find data, they can change data on the fly anytime, anywhere, so they'll make more informed decisions, hopefully better decisions. These people are usually the people who can move the needle. They can improve the bottom line, and usually by a few percentage points, 2, 5, 10%, depending how they use it. So usually, if your revenues are like 10 million and over, usually if you improve the bottom line by a few percentage points, you're going to make a huge improvement in your business. And because of that, usually DataSelf Analytics has a very fast return on investment. Sometimes we install the out-of-the-box solution, people start looking at those dashboards out of the box, and right off the bat, they find some trends that were not good, nobody knew about it, and they can fix it right away. And sometimes it takes literally days to get return on investment. On average, it takes weeks or months, but it's very quick. Having said that, how much this will cost? Usually it's going to be in the low 5-figure investment for a entry-level system with a few users. And the price varies depending on how many users, how much setup you want, what kind of users. But overall, it's a low 5-figure investment, including licenses and services. Alrighty, I hope you have enjoyed the one-way session presentation. We're going to open now a Q&A session. And because we have many people here, I'm going to ask you to actually use the GoToMeeting chatting panel to send your questions, and we'll address them. So let's see if we have questions here. Oh, here's the first question, which is a very good one. How do we compare, or what's the way we compare DataSelf Analytics with the JET Enterprise and JET reports? Awesome question. JET Enterprise and JET reports, they're a great solution. They have been in the Navision market for a long time. Let me bring here another slide to show how we position ourselves in the market and where JET pretty much fits, at least in the way that we perceive the market. So this is the Gartner Magic Quadrant for business intelligence and analytics platforms. If you may not know, Gartner is one of the most reputable companies analyzing technology out there. And this is the latest. It's actually almost a year old. So next month we should have the new quadrant. But overall, this is the latest. And making a long story short, the higher a product is on the axis, the better it is. The more to the right it is, the more components the vendor or the technology has. So being too much to the right is not a big deal. It's usually more important for Fortune 2000 companies. For mid-market, usually is important to be higher on this axis. Now here, there are the most sophisticated, the best BI and analytics vendors plotted on this chart. Jet, Enterprise, and Reports, they don't even show here. You know, they're not, because they're not as good as these other players. Now, what I want to bring to your attention are the top two from an execution standpoint, which is Tableau and Microsoft. Tableau is currently considered the king of the hill when it comes to data visualization techniques, user friendliness, slice and dicing things. And Microsoft is considered the best BI infrastructure for analytics and BI overall. So what about them and what about us? Well, let me show what we do here. What is DataSelf Analytics? Well, DataSelf Analytics is actually Tableau. We have an OEM of Tableau. It's Microsoft SQL Server, which is the best BI infrastructure out there. So we took the two best technologies out there. We add our own ETL, which simplifies the whole process, eliminating programming, and we amplify it by making this whole solution out of the box, coming with a very comprehensive set of 2,000 reports, dashboards, and KPIs, even including a light data warehouse. So what we are is the best of the breed out there, Tableau and Microsoft. We simplify it and we amplify it. Jet Reports and Jet Enterprise, they are great solutions. We call ourselves like the Ferrari because we're using the best ingredients when we're building this solution, the fastest, the more sophisticated yet easy to use. So we are kind of higher end. However, Jet Reports and Enterprise, we call like the Beamers, the Mercedes, the Porsches, great solutions, lower cost. If you're a lower budget, if you're not so concerned about being the easiest to use, the faster solution, Jet, it's awesome solution. Go for them. It's really going to be happy with it. We are more towards hey, if you want to give your business people something that they can actually take ownership and do more things by themselves, that is faster when they click something, it comes up quickly, that's where we shine. It's because we use best of the breed technology. Very good question. I'm sorry that my answer is kind of a little long, but it's important to cover this kind of concept when people ask us to compare with competitors. All right. Let's check other questions. Let me go here to the panel. All right. The question here is, how long does it take to deploy the solution? Very good question. On average, the deployment takes weeks, but not because it's weeks of actual work. Usually for a deployment of Navision, it takes days worth of work to get it installed, tested, and trained. But usually when people buy, until we get users using the system, takes a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. So deployment is usually pretty straightforward. Let me see the other question. So the question here is this a cloud-based solution? Good question. It looks like we have some fairly technical crowd here. Let me show this slide here. So this is kind of the architecture, and I'm not going to go into too many details here. So this would be the Navision CRM and other data sources you may have. We install on your on-premises system this backend system, which is a ultralight data warehouse. It will pull data from these databases and make it easier for reporting. This is on premises. Then we have the analytics component, which can be on premises, it can be in a private cloud, or it can be in our own managed services. So it can be anywhere. At the end of the day, you know, people will have access to all of those dashboards using desktop, web, and mobile devices, either using a VPN, highly secure behind the firewall framework, or using, let's say, your private cloud framework or our cloud, or our own managed services cloud. All of this framework is highly secured. You just have to check which one is more appropriate for you and go for it. All right, so let's see if we have more questions. Let me go back to the panel. How is it priced? So pricing overall, as I mentioned before, it varies significantly depending on the specific needs. One of the components is, do you have a small, a medium, or enterprise framework? So we have kind of 3 buckets of pricing depending on the sophistication of your ultimate system. So that's one of the ways that we segment pricing, you know, small, medium, and large. And then pretty much the next component influencing price is number of users. So those are the 2 main components. And we have different pricing strategies. You can have a subscription, monthly, yearly, and you can even purchase a solution. So we're pretty much, you know, done with the session. We have a few more questions, but we will address them on a one-on-one basis. Let me open this session here. Just some final notes. If you have questions, comments, if you want to have a one-on-one discussion just to learn about this, even if you don't want to buy from us, it's okay. You know, we're here to educate people, help you make decisions, the better decisions, if it's to move with someone else. So contact us. We'll be glad to talk about it. We'll be glad to make one-on-one presentations, proposals, whatever it takes to help you decide if it is a good fit or not. So I really appreciate for your time and interest, and I hope to see you around and talk with you guys in the future.